Welcome, everybody. Here with Jody Rosenboom. Jody, first off, I haven't talked to you like this in a couple of years now. I kind of missed this a little bit. Great to see you again.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah. Talking about a lot of things today. We got your, Chili Bowl A-Main car in the background, and I really want to talk about that. But first, a lot of people will probably know you primarily as race car driver, right?
Yeah.
You've been around the country race car driver. More wins than anybody in the history of Houston Speedway in the 360 sprint car, two-time champion. How does race car driver end up being crew chief, end up being a guy with 7-10 cars in your shop here at one time? How does that transition happen?
It's obviously it's my living. Dad's with Rosie's Raceland, started this deal years ago. And that's what I love to do. I love to work on cars. I love being at the races. Been sharing the love with my kids because obviously there's go-karts in here too now and everything with that. And then kind of years ago, I wanted to run the Chili Bowl. Yeah. And looked at renting a car, and my dad thought that was foolish, at that time, because this was 2007, 8. It wasn't what it is now. So we looked into getting a car. We got a car. Well, I got to know more people that did more of the rental stuff, and got into the logistics of it for a lot of people. It isn't feasible to have this car sitting there for one race a year, or to try to learn a completely different venue. So if you're a late model guy from New York, and you're trying to learn a midget for one race, it's really not that feasible for a lot of these guys. So we got hooked up with a lot of different people, and actually a lot of local people now, and just started as we rented a car. We kept, put the money into an account, kept growing the program, and as everything has grown, we keep, basically everything that goes into this rental deal feeds into the rental deal, and it just keeps growing and growing, and it's, basically it's to the point where we've got now where we have, cars that are capable of winning at a national level, competing at any national event, and we've worked hard to grow it to that, and we're going to continue to work hard, as we keep progressing and doing this deal. We're just going to keep putting the money back into the program. We're growing the program. We got new hyper micro coming, and hopefully my goal is by the end of the summer, hopefully to have 2 or 3 of them on the ground running, and then do the shootout. So, I mean, it's crazy what it's turned into, but it's been a ton of fun, and it's been a lot of fun for me and my family. And we're just keep trying to grow this program, and it's something I never dreamt I would get into, but it's really been a lot of fun along the way.
Yeah, you go from steering wheel fire suit to whether it's micros, sprint cars with the Paik family. Obviously my kids and your kids raced against each other.
Yes. Doing this,
as we got guys in here working on cars in your shop right now we also race against their kids.
Yes.
So you go from fire suit steering wheel to every different kind of open wheel car dang near that you can have, and turning wrenches on all of them. How rewarding is that for you? Not just with your kids, but just, seeing, A-Main Chili Bowl car. How rewarding is that for you?
I looked at Frank when we were getting ready for lineup, and I was like, you have no idea.
Yeah.
How hard I've worked for this moment, I mean, I know he has too, obviously, we all have, that they're part of this. And all the guys that have helped over the years, this was a reflection of everything they put into this, because some of them are still help, some of them don't, some of them moved on to different things in life, and life moves on.
Yeah.
But, and we have new guys like, with Brady being around more, and Cale being around more, the new generation of guys that have been around it, they've got to step into something really neat, and they don't know that, man, we've got a decade into trying to make this what it is now. But it's really neat to be able to say we can go about anywhere and compete, and then to be able to get that caliber of drivers too that want to run my equipment. Like we got actually Jonathan Beeson's going to be with us this year at the Chili Bowl, and actually he ran a car a couple weeks ago, and he's going to run on and off for me this summer. And it's really, really neat to see what this has all turned into, from just a small town Iowa guy with a family with a speed shop to being able to compete at a national level.
Yeah, your dad got you into this.
Yeah.
Everybody's dad gets them into it. My dad got me into, and you knew my dad. I mean,
yes, I did.
So you're standing on the ramp, getting ready to driver intros, Chili Bowl A-Main. Whatever that felt then, I'm sure it was. How did you come back and share that with your dad?
I want to say even sitting at home watching, he probably felt the same thing, because he knows all the work, blood, sweat, and tears that have went into this deal. And then, to explain it to him and then show him the pictures. Like, I got a picture in my phone of just all the people when the lights were out and they had the archway still lit up, and all the way you could just all the people and everybody cheering for everybody and the officials walking out. We got all that on a video, and it's really neat. And actually, Brady's got a really cool one of when Frank came up the ramp after the B, just to hear his excitement, because I went and actually got a tire, and we got X amount of time right now to get back, and we got to be on the racetrack again. So I went into, we need to be ready for the next race mode, where those guys got to really enjoy it with him and celebrate and really feel the excitement and kind of know what this means, even to anybody, to be at that point, to watch the people, to watch the heartbreak, and to watch the jubilation of everybody that came up that ramp after that B feature, to know that they made it that far is just insanity.
Yeah, I mean, it's the great thing about racing, right? Every emotion that you can experience as a human, someone in that facility is doing that within that 3-hour window.
Oh, for sure.
You got the highs of highs for sure.
And we had both, because obviously we had TJ Smith in the same B feature, so I had 2 cars in that B, and Frank made it through and TJ didn't. And then to be so excited for Frank, and TJ was so excited for Frank too. I mean, and that's the way our team is. Everybody gets along, everybody has fun, and then but yet to see a little bit of heartbreak for him, because you're that close. Yeah. To be at that point where you're in that race, that one more race has you in the pinnacle of what you've been trying to do for so long. It's, there's heartbreak for him too, but yet there's still excitement to make it that far. So it's a lot of emotions kind of rolled up into about an hour.
Yeah, your rental program for Chili Bowl specifically has been really, interesting to watch over the years. Obviously, we're all from Lyon County. I'm cheering for what you guys are doing, and Frank Flood, Jonathan Beeson, those are big names in that avenue of motorsports. Yep. But you can turn on Fox and watch Connor Daly and Santino Ferrucci race in IndyCar, and they've raced for you as well. Yep. How have you built this midget rental program to kind of encompass such a wide variety of drivers?
You treat people well. Yeah. And you provide them with something that they know is going to be capable. Whether the driver sometimes is or isn't, because a lot of them are learning. This is a whole new venue. So they know they're not going to come in and probably light the world on fire, but you're going to do everything to coach, help, guide, provide anything you can do to give them every opportunity to be better and to succeed at this. And I really, I take pride in being able to take some of these guys that, don't have any experience and make them competitive. And, I feel like we've done that. And, everybody's got their own learning curve, and everybody kind of progresses on these deals on their own pace. But I think we give them the opportunity where if they're capable, the equipment is capable.
Right. Now, we talked a lot about Chili Bowl, obviously, but you're doing this at a lot more places, right? You've been to Du Quoin, you've done the Oklahoma stuff with the Turnpike Challenge, I-44 down there it looks like an insane place. So you've done this a lot at a lot of different places. I know that you're still, turning wrenches for the 64 for Brad and Andy Pake, and I know that's still a priority for you. Obviously, your son's racing go-karts and your daughter's racing go-karts, and that's still a priority for you. Yep. But what does the schedule look like this coming summer for your guys?
Yeah, we're going to do Brad and Andy again, just because Andy's a talent, and he's going to be good. And I enjoy watching that blossom. I mean, I wish I could do more, but our agreement kind of is too, on Saturday nights we go racing with the kids, and they understand and they're fine with it. And which, thank you to them for allowing me to have that time with my family, and yet to work with Andy too, because they know what seeing Andy succeed means to me too. Yeah. I mean, it's a reflection on a lot of work and putting a lot of time into this young man that I think is very capable. Right. So then obviously this year we're going to expand with a little more midget, possibly some micro stuff, like I said, as we progress here, depending on how things go. And we're going to do the Thunder Hill on select Wednesday nights, and we're going to have some opportunities for rentals available for up there. And we actually already have some seats filled for it, so that'll be really neat. And then gonna try to hit what I can when I can, and I keep kind of everybody that's had interest in racing other places with the midget deal. And actually I've had people interested now. I've had phone calls in the last week of people maybe wanting to lease sprint car stuff. And actually just this noon, Rachel, my wife, and I were just visiting about it. My dad and I visited about it, do we want to get that deep where we're going into that too? But in the same regard, I guess it's no different than what we're doing. I mean, the midget deal is still a huge monetary obligation to have all this equipment and everything, and all you're doing is just broadening yourself into another another venue. And actually, you know, one of my goals is if the kids do enjoy this and they want to progress, you know, I wanted to be able to give them equipment to compete at a national level as they progress. And you know, with karting, I know enough people and knew enough about karting from my karting days years ago that we stepped into that and been pretty successful. And then you know, I've had a lot of love for the small car world. Like I had a micro for a while, and I loved it. Sure. And you know, my goal too was to, if Regan or Rayleigh really want to pursue this deal, that was going to be our next step, and then to try to hopefully, if we can, and is to move more of the micro / the small car, you know, mini mods, any of that stuff, racing to our area, and then hopefully try to come up with a little bit better, more size tracks, kind of like we talked Thunder Hill. You know, obviously the correct size track for the competition is so key, you know, and they ran it at Houston's and it worked, but it wasn't ideal, you know, and then Jackson had that the track inside for a while, but I mean, it just didn't work in the grand scheme of things. It was good. We had a lot of fun on it, but it just, you know, obviously as with changing of ownership and everything that happened there, you know, it wasn't something that was going to stay. But I think, you know, there's a lot of people, and you talk to a lot of the higher end people in racing in our community, and they want to see this too. Same, you know, from here into cities in Wisconsin, everybody's trying to do the same deal, is to broaden the entry level, is basically what you want to call it. And for some, it's not entry level. You know, there's a lot of people that will get into, you know, say it's a mini mod, a micro, whatever their legend car, and that's where they want to be. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, I mean, it's whatever you can afford and you can do and you enjoy. And I just want to see more places that we could do that kind of stuff too, along with the guys that want to keep progressing into the 305, 360, 410, you know, or stock cars, or IMCA stock cars, USA stock cars, street stocks, whatever their flavor may be. You know, it's nice to have the facilities that can do all of this stuff around here, and you know, we're so close to it. Yeah,
absolutely. I think we're both open wheel guys. I would say we're sprint car guys. I grew up 2 blocks from Houston's. I remember you in the 6 car with the Hawkeye on the wing, winning 410 races there. But so open wheel guy, you know, micros were a thing here for a long time. Raced at Worthington, they raced at Jackson, like you'd mentioned, whatever. Kind of gone away. But I think the nice thing about there's so much sprint car guy investment in the wing kart world right now. The Haugen Plumbing and Heating, you know, Justin Henderson's sons racing, you know, that kind of deal. There's so much of that right now that I feel like we're kind of at a point where if we can get the right investment from the right racetracks, we can make this micro thing work again. Because a lot of the young 410 guys that are running Houston's now started in that world. You look at Caleb Johnson, you look at Tyler Rabenberg, some of the others. It's exciting to see.
Ryan Timms, you know,
absolutely.
I mean, he cut his teeth in the tracks of Oklahoma,
which is Port City and
that's
stuff.
A hotbed, you know.
Absolutely. So we're at a place where, you know, if we can get that investment, it can grow. And, you know, you mentioned Thunder Hill, a place where Chad and, you know, everybody involved in that team up there, along with Quality Freight Rate, has invested. They've changed the racetrack. They've updated safety. They've made it to where that can feasibly happen. They got their Storm Series races, 6 of them on Wednesday nights. You're going up to support that. How much of that is, you know, it's an opportunity for us to race, and how much of that is supporting a guy who's done the legwork to make this happen in our area?
You know, if you don't support these people, they won't want to continue to do what they're doing.
Yeah.
So if somebody's willing to stick their neck on the line to give us a place to race, whether it be on a Wednesday, a Saturday, a Friday, whatever it is, and they're willing to I mean, it's turning it into a really premier, top-notch facility. It's really, I mean, like I said, I haven't been there yet, and I'm excited about it. I'm honestly, this is one of the things I'm probably the most excited about with my summer, is just to try this out and to support everything that's going on with Thunder Hill Speedway. And I'm really looking forward to it. And like I said, if I can do my small part by bringing some cars, and maybe we'll get some interest in some people running cars up in that area, and we're going to bring some people that we've already had running our cars along, and maybe we'll bring some big drivers through the summer. You never know, plans change and things, and we got to make things work with scheduling, but maybe we can get some bigger drivers there too, and we'll see what happens. But I think it really could be a great venue, and on a kind of a night where you get home, and I know obviously not everybody from Rock Rapids, Iowa is going to go and drive to Menominee, Wisconsin, but now we can pull up YouTube, pull up the stream, and it's a fantastic broadcast. It's free on YouTube. I mean, anybody that wants to pull it up can watch it, and they can watch from the kids running karts all the way through micros, legends, and to a midget race. You know, that's pretty awesome entertainment for a Wednesday night. And from everything I've seen, they run a pretty tight ship too, where you know you can get in and watch it 2-3 hours. The show is over. You know, you got to watch a really great racing show, and you can still be in bed a little after 10. I mean, how do you beat that for a Wednesday night in the Midwest?
They almost have a little bit of a Midwest Millbridge thing going on.
Yeah.
Everything from the box stock carts to the midget cars. Should be fun.
But it's a great, I mean, you look at the Millbridge, basically grand scheme of things, it's pretty awesome to follow, because look at the success. And I understand they're in North Carolina, which is the racing hotbed, but Menominee's not far from Minneapolis, and I mean there's a lot of population in that area too, and into Wisconsin, and there's a lot of, like we were just talking a little bit ago.
Even just with IRA, there's a huge sprint car population in Wisconsin.
Well, and then late models, limited late models, modified, stock cars, super stocks. We can go down the list. And I mean, I know a lot of these guys, they're open wheel fans too. They watch it, you know, whether they come out, want to try it. You know, we're obviously willing to talk to about anybody. So, I mean, I think you're going to really, as this takes off and progresses and they find out that, hey, you know, I can come in, talk to Jody, we can lease a car, and I can go have some fun on a Wednesday night. And at the end of the night, we shake hands, and I don't have to worry about the maintenance or the car washing or any of that stuff. You know, I think you're going to see a lot of people get interested in that, and I sure hope so, because that's kind of why we do what we do. And it's two great things. It's people supporting my business and to grow my business to make this deal keep getting better and better. And it's obviously supporting a speedway that's really working hard to try to progress, entry level and to even guys that could go out on traveling series between micro. I mean, there's so many big money races in micros, it's crazy. Yeah. I mean, and then onto the midget deal where you can go in and there's the Badger stuff, obviously the Gopher stuff is what we're going to be running with this, or they can travel the country between USAC, Power I, and Extreme. So, I mean, there's so many doors that this could open for a lot of people, or open their eyes to maybe this is a route I really like, and this is something I want to do. So it's really going to be interesting to see as it progresses, and I'm excited that we get to be part of it. Yeah, I am too. I really am. We're hoping to get to Menominee. I got to try to rent a BP motor here somewhere, but we're going to try to make it happen. But thanks for taking the time. I really do appreciate it. It's good to talk to you again. Yep, thank you. Yep.
When you've got to ship it from anywhere to anywhere,
QualityFreightRate.com.
The LTL Freight Logistics Specialist for your small business.
QualityFreightRate.com.
We simplify shipping, eliminate those surprise charges, and negotiate the best rates from most LTL qualified carriers.
QualityFreightRate.com.
Special residential and liftgate rates available for automotive and ag implements.
QualityFreightRate.com.
Use the promo code ICE and get 10% off your first shipment. Startup is so easy. Get a quote and ship today. QualityFreightRate.com.